help with the tumors. The enlarged abdominopelvic lymph nodes were not detected. This was gone. So that was something that I was actually quite surprised. A 12-centimeter tumor disappearing.
Everybody turn to your neighbor and say, do more. Right? Don't just think there is no one product that will cure you of cancer. Okay, that is like it's like a scammer trying to sell you something. All right, it is a comprehensive approach. When you need surgery, do the surgery. But prepare for the
Antibiotics bukod sa mga gamot na binigay ng doktor sa ospital, may tinik din siya na alternative medicine, yung PPARS. May kamahalan. So, sinugal ko para kasi kailangan kung di mo isusugal yun, baka maputulan talaga kasi kahit naglilinis kami ng paa tapos nagdidibri pero parang slow yung healing process niya. So, I tried na painumin siya at 10 tablets at AM and 10 at lunch and then 10 at the evening and the soft gel twice a day also. So, religiously binibigay ko yun sa kanya. Ang dati kasi dahil nag-peak yung WBC niya, medyo nag-septic siya. Sa mga nakakaalam, sabihin yung infection kumalat na sa buong katawan. Kaya nagkaroon ng problema yung kaisipan na nawala sa wisyo. Dramatically, yun yung maganda doon. Dramatically, after 1 to 2 days, parang nakita ko siya ng improvement. Doon, nakita namin na sa help ng antibiotic and together with PPARS, sabi ko, maganda yung kinalabasan. So, why not continue? Hanggang nakita ko rin na gumaganda yung healing process. Tapos yung WBC, nag-dramatically from 46. Imagine, 46, dramatically bumaba siya ng 39, 33, 27, 19, 15, and then 11, 9, 7. So, nakikita mo talaga yung changes na nagawa ng gamot na yun. So, yung support ng family ay mahalaga sa recover ng pasyente. So, una, yun yung talaga nakikita ko, yung support system. Then secondly, syempre, with the help of the advanced technology, like yung mga ini-introduce ng mga gamot, hindi ko pwedeng alisin yun sa scene, sa scenario. So, ako kasi, dahil nga nasa medical field ako, medyo alam ko yung mga ganyang mga alternative medicine and evidence-based ako. So, sa PPARS, sabi ko nga, maganda yung result. Ito walang harong biro to. It's not joke. Yung man ako binayaran So, it's no joke. Talagang maganda yung yung nangyari sa kapatid ko, lalo na yung wound healing. Yun yung nakikita ko, yung wound healing talaga. Nag-granulate siya, gumanda yung circulation, nabuo ng laman, okay? Nagkalaman yung mga paa niya, na dating wala. Makikita niyo naman sa picture, di ba? Dating wala, nagkaroon ng laman. So, na-prevent natin yung pagputol. I can say na effective. Okay, effective yung PPARS.
Ano yung ma-advise nyo sa mga patients na same case sa sister ninyo?
Okay. So, I advise them to try. Then, kagaya ko, gusto ko may ebidensya na experience ng on hand ng ate ko. So, ganun din yung papayo ko. Try to experience yung healing, try to take the medicine religiously despite medyo may konting kamahalan, but then kung titinan mo naman yung long-term na gamutan, mas mahal yun. Tsaka hospitalization. At yung, syempre, yung recovery. Yun yung maganda doon. Yung recovery, mapabilis. So, try ninyo. Hello, I'm Joel Elcano. My sister, diabetic since way back 10 years up to now. Because of Simply Nature, hindi niya na kailangan mag-amputate. Yung recovery niya, yung unti-unti, nagkaroon ng maganda, nagkalaman yung kanyang mga paa. Still recovering, yet nakikita ko yung magandang bunga. And that is because of Simply Nature, PPARS. And I trust Simply Nature.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ako si Haji Norma Yusuf, taga Zamboanga City. Pero dito na ako nakatira sa Maynila. 13 pieces na bukol, pero yung mga iba maliit siya. Pero yung itong isa malaki siya, parang umabot na ata ng 3. Kaya nga ito sabi ng doktor, kailangan tanggalin na. May kaibigan ako, i-try ko daw itong yung PPARS. Pangalawang gabi, may naramdaman ako parang iba. Yung parang may langgam na parang gumagalaw ganyan hanggang dito, hanggang sa talampakan, ganon. Pangatlong araw ko. Parang sumakit yung dito ko, parang gusto ko talaga. Pag ko ganyan sa CR, yun parang lumabas talaga na ganyan, napakarami talaga. Siguro sunod-sunod yun, 3 araw, ganun. Tapos sabi ko, pagtapos yung dito ko, minsan yung parang, ganun-ganun ako. Parang masikip dito, parang minsan sumasakit dito ko, ganyan. Yung na ako dito, umabot na ng mga 5 days, ganyan. Parang nawala yung sakit dito, nawala siya. Parang hindi na ako ganon. Pag nagsalita ako, parang tuloy-tuloy na, wala na akong halos maramdaman. Kaya siguro, hindi ako, sabi ko, parang ayaw ko magpa-opera, siguro mayroon talagang gamot para dito. Binigay ng God. Ngayon, hanggang ngayon, parang maganda ang maganda ang pakiramdam ko. Yung high blood ko, pag parang magandang tinanggal ko na yung sa cholesterol ko, hindi na ako, pero yung sa cholesterol ko, pag tinatanggal ko yon, parang hindi, mga 2 araw, parang masama ang pakiramdam ko. Pero ito, 14 days na, ngayon 14 days na, basta 2 weeks na, hindi ako uminom ng subastatin, wala akong nararamdaman na parang maganda ang Kaya yun, ngayon bumili pa ako ulit ng tablet. Oo, kasi sabi ko para para lumakas talaga sa akin ng Kasi nararamdaman ko talaga na maganda. Ay, Norma Yusuf, ay bukol ako dito sa liig ko, 13 piraso. Umabot na ng 3 cm. Take ako ng PPARS 2 times, morning at saka gabi. Pag numulok ako, hindi ko na siya mararamdaman. At saka, kinakapa ko siya, parang nawawala, parang wala na, hindi ko mahawakan. Hindi katulad ng dati. Salamat, Simply Nature.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheila and welcome to another enlightening episode of Simply Healed webinar. This program is brought to you by the collaborative efforts of Simply Nature International and Simply Healed Medical Group. We are an international distributor of food supplements derived from a unique strain of microalgae known as PPARS, which has been tried, tested, and certified proven to support not only cancer treatment but also enhance general health and reverse metabolic syndromes like hypertension, diabetes, and high cholesterol. I just first want to say thank you to those who joined our wellness series, Simply Nature Answers, yesterday. Please know that if you've been curious about how Simply Nature PPARS products can make a difference in your metabolic illness or even cancer journey, SNA is also a perfect program for you. Just to recap on our last week's topic, last episode, we discussed found the lump. Should you go on biopsy or not? Lots of questions were asked and most importantly, answered by our experts. And this week, discover how cancer patients can benefit from using PPARS because tonight's interesting topic is entitled Chemotherapy 101. What you need to know when you choose chemo as your treatment option for your cancer journey. Today may be a holiday, but we are here for you because we know that cancer doesn't take a break and the questions you carry don't pause either. In this session, we'll walk you through the essentials of the chemotherapy, what it is, how it works, and what to expect before, during, and after treatment. We'll also explore how to prepare yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally for the road ahead. Most importantly, we'll look beyond the treatment toward recovery, hope, and many possibilities that lie ahead. You are not alone in this fight. God is with you, and as you gather your strength in this holy week, we are honored to walk beside you today. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Please note that we will be having an AMA or Ask Me Anything portion later on, so please feel free to drop your questions on the comment section. And later, we will also be joined by our resident pharmacist and one of our dearest client service officers here in Simply Nature, which I'm sure you know, Ms Jhen Makanjola. Now, leading our discussion tonight is a distinguished health expert who is a successful entrepreneur and seasoned international speaker on a wide range of topics from personal success to healthcare. He is the CEO and founding director of Simply Nature International, Mr. Shyan Lim. Good evening, Sir
Hi,
Shyan.
Sheila. Hi, Sheila, and to everybody, a happy Maudie Thursday, if I said it correctly. So today we're going to talk about how to do chemotherapy, what you should do to prepare yourself. As Sheila said, we made a promise to be available every Thursday, even on Holy Week and a public holiday like this. We'll still go on. So without further ado, I'll hand the time back to Sheila so that we can start with our program for tonight.
Thank you, Sir Shyan. Guys, do prepare for your questions after the discussion, as we will be having the AMA or Ask Me Anything portion. For the meantime, let's all watch this.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Healed, and Doc Jansen, welcome again.
Hello, Shyan. Hello, everyone. Glad to be here again.
Doc, today's topic is really interesting, and I think all our audience today will be so glad that they didn't miss today's episode, because today's episode is about why your breast cancer treatment might not be working.
Sometimes there are a lot of reasons why the treatments, the conventional treatments that we undergo, even natural treatments, sometimes they don't work.
Yeah, but it worked like for
Yes,
other
for
people at the
it
clinic,
worked,
right?
but why didn't it work for me? I mean, we're practically the same, right? The profiles are the same. So there are a lot of reasons behind that. So immune system evasion, gene mutations. But there's one specific pathway that once it mutates, then it's really very difficult to treat.
Okay.
So this pathway is the JAK-STAT pathway. Okay?
Is this something
Big
relatively new?
Actually, it's
Or
not.
this discovery? This discovery,
it's not.
Okay.
But the drugs that have been developed to target this specific pathway are new.
Oh,
Quite new.
Okay.
Yes. So later we're going to tell you which drugs are there.
That's
or are
exciting.
they, okay. Remember what I just mentioned, the JAK-STAT pathway. So that is JAK/STAT. So what is this? So cells have a way to communicate.
All right.
They talk to one another.
Okay.
Now, when we communicate, right? I am talking, you are listening.
Yeah.
So how do you listen? You have your ears to listen. Okay? So this JAK-STAT pathway are your ears. This is the ears of the cells.
Okay.
Okay?
That's interesting.
So if one cell is trying to communicate with another, it communicates via this specific pathway. JAK means Janus kinase.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Janus kinase is just the name of the scientist who discovered this.
Okay.
So that's why it's Janus. Okay, so it's Dr. Janus. Okay, and the other one is STAT. So STAT means signal transducer and activator of transcription. So this is specific big words. Okay.
Yeah.
Main function of this that you have to know is that it stimulates gene activation. Okay, it activates the genes to manufacture proteins. Imagine this to be like a restaurant, okay, inside the cell.
Okay.
So take a look at this image. Okay, so take a look at the JAK Okay, imagine this, Jack, to be counters, no? Counters in the restaurants where
Or like
you
the cashier,
go-
where the
the
where you
cashier.
order.
Yes, it's like where when you go to Jollibee, when you go to McDonald's, it's the lady in front of you where you order.
Alright.
Okay, and the Ligan, okay, is you. You are the Ligan. You are the customer.
Okay.
Okay, of course, if you order
Yeah.
from the cashier,
They will produce
the food for you.
Behind.
Okay?
Yes.
So how does this work? Okay? So in a typical restaurant, when you order, the cashier receives your order, and then the cashier passes it onto the kitchen.
Yes.
So that the kitchen will make your order, will make your food to give it to you.
Yes.
Okay? So, alright. So imagine this restaurant to be inside the sales. Okay? So you as the customer, as the Ligan, when that interacts with the Jack receptor or the cashier, okay, the cashier will pass your order to the kitchen. Okay, so it's Jack telling the DNA, telling the genes,
Telling the kitchen what to
telling the kitchen
produce.
what to produce. Yes. So what are the food that gets produced when this gets activated? When the
Okay.
Jack stat pathway
What's
gets
on the
activated?
menu? What is
Yes.
available?
Okay, so these are the things that's on the menu. Quite a lot of things. Cellular proliferation, meaning cells divide.
Okay.
They multiply. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. Okay? Cellular differentiation or maturation. Okay? So imagine your young red blood cells being babies inside the bone marrow. Then they
become
mature.
adults.
They become adults so that they can carry oxygen and function properly for you. Okay? So that's another one. Another one is cellular migration or movement. Cells migrate, especially during baby when you're an embryo. Okay, so you're this small, small embryo, right? Of course, how do you become a full fetus?
Yes.
Okay, cells migrate.
They
cells
move around.
mature. They move around.
Does this
Okay.
have an impact on cancer spreading?
Yes, especially metastasis and tumor invasion.
Okay.
Okay. Cellular death is also known as apoptosis or programmed cell death. This is how, you know, when cells get old, or this is how they die. Okay.
So this naturally, and the
Yes.
issue about cancer cells is that cancer cells often don't die.
They don't
And then
die.
the healthy cells die, the
Yes.
cancer cells don't die.
So they just multiply and multiply and multiply. So when JAK-STAT pathway gets activated, cellular death gets reduced. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So next is cell survival. Cell survival is longer with this. So it is like cancer becomes stronger.
all right.
Okay?
Wow.
So next is the creation of blood cells. So you know this already. Immune cell development, stem cell maintenance. Okay, so human growth and development, as just what I have mentioned a while ago, and breast gland development. So these are the things that gets activated, that gets turned on when JAK-STAT is activated, or when you order in that counter.
But what happens in your illustration to a cancer patient? What happens when their JAK-STAT is overactive? When it
Yes.
produces too much?
This is what happens. So remember what I have mentioned a while ago? So the function of the JAK-STAT, you just enhance that. Okay, so increased cell proliferation. So your cells are multiplying excessively. Okay, so instead of 1 becoming 2, 1 becomes 4.
That makes the cancer cell grow faster.
Yes, that's why we develop tumors. Okay?
Wow.
Next is decreased cell death. Cells just live longer.
That is good for the good cells, but that's bad news for
cancer
the
cells. Okay, so decreased immune function.
Oh, we don't want that.
We don't want that. It's
Yeah.
because why do we have decreased immune function? It's because the white blood cells are not matured properly. They don't mature properly. So if they don't mature properly, they don't function properly. So next is immune system evasion. It dodges the immune system. It evades detection by the immune system.
Wow, those
There's
are
also
very
one aspect.
serious
Okay.
impacts on cancer.
Yes. So next is tumor recurrence. That's why some of you who have undergone immune chemotherapy, radiation therapy, hormone therapy, surgery, one way or another, somewhere down the line, you develop recurrence. So these are one of the reasons. Okay? Tumor invasion, all of you already know this. Increased tumor blood supply formation.
Oh, that's bad. Because if you increase the tumor blood supply formation, the tumor grows
faster because they have their own supply of nutrients already.
Wow.
And the tumor deprives you of nutrients that the healthy
They
cells in your body
steal
should have
from
been.
the healthy cells.
Yes, it's like parasite. like a parasite.
And I see the next one is cell migration, and that's the most scary thing in cancer. Metastasis. You know, for our audience, it's important to take note that if your cancer does not spread, in many cases, you can live a very, very long time with the cancer in your body.
Yes.
In fact, most of the cancer deaths are a result of cancer spreading. If you could isolate your cancer, if it just only stays at one point, you can basically live with it, which is why prostate cancer, in the early stages, doctors just sit back and
Observe.
just observe because it's not moving anywhere. It's just one location. So stopping your cancer from spreading makes cancer less lethal. And that's something that you should aim to do if you're a cancer patient. So this is very important that we stop this.
Yes, correct. And one of the bad things as well is that the tumor itself can develop drug resistance. This is something that Dr. Jimmy has been saying again and again.
Okay.
Some tumors develop resistance to chemotherapy.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons.
Oh, because of the JAK-STAT.
Because of the JAK-STAT. But for this, for the JAK-STAT, there are quite a lot, so we don't have time to enumerate all. I'll just give you one very common example that a lot of breast cancer patients are very familiar with. Aromatase inhibitors, or letrozole, also known as anastrozole, and exemestane. Okay? For our breast cancer patients who are hormone receptor positive, this is one of the mainstay treatments that you will be undergoing. If JAK-STAT is overactivated, you develop resistance to these drugs.
That's not good.
That's not good. Okay? Sometimes, aromatase inhibitors are given for 5 years.
Okay.
Sometimes because of the sheer duration of the drug, the sheer duration of the number of days of the drug that's
you give
been
the
given.
chance for the
You give the chance
for the
for the
cancer
drug to
mutate and develop a defense against it.
And sometimes, at the back of your mind, hey, it's being given for 5 years. So, at the back of your mind, probably I have to be on it for a significant period of time for it to work. But sometimes along the way, we don't know that it's not working anymore.
Because the cancer has already mutated.
Yes. And also because of this JAK-STAT pathway.
So for many cancer patients, I think this is one of the most traumatic experience and very confusing because the drug was working. Yes. My tumor was the size of like this. Now it's only so small. How come now it's growing big again? What happened?
Yes, and it's quite frustrating for a lot of cancer patients because you have spent so much money.
And you're starting to celebrate already. You are getting encouraged.
Yes, and then this happens to you. Sometimes you get smacked by life. Why did this happen? Everything I did was my uncle told me everything I followed to the letter.
And it seemed to be working.
Yes. There's a solution to that. We'll go into that later. So now, what are the reasons why the JAK-STAT gets overactivated? Number one reason, inflammation. So I have shown you these two types of molecules, IL-6 and IL-22. So what are they?
This?
Okay, what is this? Remember COVID? Okay? Remember the drug remdesivir?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Remdesivir is an IL-6 inhibitor. Okay? In COVID, IL-6 is one of the inflammatory factors that can kill a person. Okay? And this is exactly one of the reasons why JAK-STAT gets overactivated.
Because of the
presence of IL-6, because of inflammatory factors. Now, IL-6 and IL-22 are both pro-inflammatory, and these can get elevated for many reasons. And number one is lifestyle, the food that you eat. I've been reiterating this again and again and again. So please watch those videos. Okay. Now, next is inhibition of negative regulators. So what does this mean? So for every restaurant, you have your security guard.
Okay, that's easy to understand.
Easy to understand. What does the security guard do?
Chase away the wrong people.
Chase away the wrong people. Also, they filter who comes in the establishment. Okay?
So they don't let gangsters come into the restaurant.
So this one, inhibition of negative regulators means that your security guard got sick and went for a sick leave. Okay? So if you don't have a security guard in your establishment, all people who come into your establishment.
Doc,
Okay.
how does this happen to a person? Why would our security guards take leave?
Again, for a number of reasons. Usually, it's because of mutations. And
But mutations are part of life.
yes, however, in cells, mutations can correct themselves.
Wow.
However, there is also a mutation of a mutation, so
Okay.
that the corrector or
The person
The-
that is supposed to come
Yes.
and
Or
wake the guard
yes,
up, to
wake the
prevent him
guard
from
up,
sleeping,
or
actually doesn't do his
doesn't
job.
do his job, or the auditor doesn't do his or her job, okay, or does erroneous corrections, okay. So that is what happens. The approach should be holistic.
Yes.
Yes, so you should not be focusing on just one treatment alone. You should consider all the other treatments. Actually, as much as possible, combine them. Now let's go to the solutions. Okay, so we have a lot of JAK inhibitors already, drugs, no, that inhibits this interaction between the cashier and the customer. Cashier and customer. Okay, so examples would be ruxolitinib, tofacitinib, fedratinib, peficitinib. Okay, so these drugs, I only chose one. Okay, the more common one here in the Philippines is ruxolitinib. And the problem with JAK inhibitors is that it's not readily available in the market, and it's
Oh.
quite expensive.
Okay.
This is the price, no? I got this from the DOH website.
Okay.
This is the price when this drug, the price of this drug in 2020.
Okay.
So, take a look at the prices. It's crazy expensive. One day, the lowest dose, one day you'll spend 4,000 pesos already.
Every day 4,000.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, for breast cancer, to use this drug, you need 25 milligrams.
Okay.
So that would be at least 10,000 pesos per day.
Wow. No wonder maybe this is the reason why it doesn't occur to
Yes.
the oncos, because
It's
it's,
really,
it's a tool that they seldom use, because it's a tool that is not in the reach of many
yes,
people.
and it's quite expensive. And you know how long you should be on this? You should be on this until we see clinically significant improvement or your platelet count decreases. Then we adjust the dose.
Okay.
That is the time. But as long as it is working, you should be on this.
Is
Even-
there another solution than this?
Yes,
than this?
there is a
Oh.
cheaper one. Okay.
Okay.
So we have PPAR gamma agonists. PPAR gamma agonists are inhibitors of JAK.
Okay.
Okay, and
And?
they will be way cheaper. One example would be Simply Nature PPAR liquid.
And this is where my expertise comes in, because I'm familiar with PPAR gamma, and Simply Nature extracts and even our tablets are rich in PPAR gamma agonists. So yes, and I saw Doc, that you said in the previous slide that I can see, the audience may not be able to see, that these drugs work well with chemotherapy. For example, cisplatin. And I was thinking to myself, our Simply Nature liquid extracts actually remove or manage like a majority, maybe 60 to 80% of the side effects of chemotherapy drugs like cisplatin. So if you are a chemo patient, you should be already taking our product. Now the product also inhibits JAK-STAT.
Yes.
So that means that you kill two birds with one stone. So those of you who are already on Simply Nature PPAR protocol, look forward to your breast cancer treatment by your onco to be even more effective, or at least you can rest assured this problem of the JAK-STAT would unlikely happen to you, because you're already taking something that modulates your JAK-STAT hyperactivity.
Yes. Actually, this is also one of the proofs that Simply Nature PPAR liquid really works in synergy with a lot of the conventional drug protocols used for cancer. Okay, so yes, if you are a cancer patient, you should really consider using Simply Nature PPAR agonist together with your chemotherapy, together with your hormone therapy, together with your immunotherapy or targeted therapy. Okay?
And with that, we hope we've achieved today give you a potential solution if you are one of those patients who can't understand why your therapy is not working for you, or the results have decreased. So this JAK-STAT might be that key to your issue. And once again, from Simply Nature aspect, we always want to make sure that our audience, our patients, understand why and how the product is working for them. And over the last 2 years, we've always been adding to this body of knowledge so that you can feel confident that you are receiving treatment that makes sense, that is well researched, that is understood, both by your attending physicians like Dr. Jansen, from the support of chemo and cancer treatment, to your oncologist, because all these research is readily available. And if you want us to speak to your onco so that they can understand what you're going through with Dr. Jansen, just let Dr. Jansen know during the consult. Right? So without further ado, Doc, can we go? I can see many questions coming out. So let's go.
Yes, let's go to the Ask Me Anything portion already. So yeah, I can see a lot of questions already coming up.
Hi, everyone. Good evening once again. I am sure that you have learned so much from that discussion by Doc Jansen Kalalan and also Mr. Shyan Lim. And I'm sure that it has got you more curious about Simply Nature PPARS. So let's not keep you waiting. But first, before we go to our questions for tonight, let's greet our viewers for today. All right. First off, of course, Miss Veronica Manuel, right? Thank you so much for attending once again. Of course, we also have here Miss Jeanette Ku. We also have Rans Dialde, Miss Rizalyn Plaza, Freddy Samson. Hello po, magandang gabi. Miss Nay Sarang, Leo Ocampo, and also Mr. Luis San Juan. Thank you so much for joining us today on this holiday. All right, once again, let's not keep you waiting. To answer our questions for tonight, I'd like to call on our experts. First off, our resident pharmacist and one of our caring client service officers here in Simply Nature, Ms. Jhen Macanjola, and our CEO and founding director of Simply Nature International, Mr. Shyan Lim. Good evening, Ms. Jhen. Good evening, Sir Shyan.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Sheila. Good evening, Jhen. And good evening to all our audience tonight. Well, it's Maundy Thursday. It's actually a public holiday. So, but we're here with everybody. All right. So maybe tonight's program will be a bit shorter so that we can proceed with our activities for Holy Week. But let's jump straight into it. Sheila?
So to start off, our first question, this was actually asked yesterday and hanging. Let's answer this tonight. So coming from Ms. Mers Moreno, what do you think will happen if I continue on taking the pain relievers?
All right. Is there long-term side effects or negative effects for taking pain relievers? The answer is yes. All right. It depends on the different types of pain relievers you could be taking. If you're taking non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, all right, the long-term damage that is most important is actually kidney damage and actually cardiovascular risks. It also leads to high blood pressure. So that one, if you have a metabolic syndrome already, that's just going to elevate it, right? The other type is the one that we're all familiar with, which is paracetamol. Same liver damage when used in high dosages. So usually if you're taking a painkiller, right, the body sort of also develops a kind of resistance to it. So the more you take, the more you have to take, especially if you're taking it continuously. Okay, so that's another. So because of that, your dosages go quite high, and then that's liver damage. And in extreme cases or chronic overuse, that means you really have been taking it for a long time, liver failure. So opioids are addiction because it's like opium, right? Okay, and there are also depression, mood changes, things like that. So actually, in summary, taking drugs like painkillers over long term will pose a risk to your liver. And yesterday during our program, we did about CKD, right? That is one of the most pressing or growing concern, damaging your kidneys. In the past, we talked about dialysis, so we always talk about kidney failure. But now it's happening so often that people don't wait till kidney failure. Once you have chronic kidney disease, it's already considered something that you should be alarmed with. In the past, it's only when you're reaching about kidney failure, then people worry about their kidney. Now, the next thing is liver cirrhosis and liver damage and liver failure. That is also equally scary, right? To everybody, the two most important organs that you don't want to be compromised is actually the liver and the kidney. So why I say that, of course, if your heart stops, you're dead. If your brain stops, you're dead, right? So these two organs are obviously very important, but the next two important ones are actually the liver and the kidney. Why? It affects your quality of life. It also affects, the liver actually affects what medication you can take. So if you have liver damage, a lot of drugs cannot be taken. Okay, so liver actually filters, detoxes and filters your blood, right? So it's very important for the liver to function. If you have no liver function or low liver function, there are a lot of drugs you cannot take. So that means if you need to take drugs because you're sick or you go in a hospital, it's very complicated to treat you. So you want to protect your liver as much as possible, okay? So yep, that's the answer. So what's the solution? The solution is pain is usually caused by inflammation. It's linked to inflammation. If you have inflamed joints, then it's painful, right? If you suffer from inflammation, then it will most of the time be generate pain. So inflammation is one of the root causes for pain. So anything that helps modulate inflammation will help you. So for example, omega-3s, curcumin, and like our PPAR protocols, they help with anti-inflammation. So that will help you manage your pain. Of course, is it as effective to numb pain, like for example, compared to morphine? No, of course, painkillers are definitely more effective at killing pain. So what PPARS protocol does is actually manage the root cause of pain, which is inflammation, but it doesn't manage pain directly in a way that, for example, desensitize you to the pain. Okay, like for example, anesthesia. So that's the difference. However, if you want to take something long term to help you manage pain indirectly and to also that is safe for you and has benefits like improve your metabolic syndromes, help you fight cancer, so on and so forth, then PPAP protocols is the best solution. Jhen, you're a pharmacist, so I think you definitely studied in pharmacology the side effects of painkillers, or are painkillers really safe? I know that it's safe in the sense that you can eat like 40 Panadols and you will not die. All right. You might have to pump your stomach, but you will not die. But what about chronic usage of painkillers?
Actually, I can comment on that personally as a pharmacist and a patient who takes
Okay.
painkillers also every day before. Okay. So yes, what you said is true. As a pharmacist, um, for the painkillers, it starts for chronic use, it starts with the ulcer.
What is chronic use? Sorry. People say, will I have side effects if I use painkillers long term? So what is long term? Is 1 month long term? When does it start becoming considered long term?
Okay, for medical terms, it's
Yeah.
more than 7 days.
Oh
That's
my God,
considered
most
chronic.
this one is very easy to be long term already. It's just as long as you've been taking it
Yes.
continuously for 7 days, it's considered long term. Okay.
Yes. So there it starts with ulceration, and then later you
Wow.
will also feel to yourself the tolerance. You will have to increase your dose, and then therefore the side effects increase also. And for there's the NSAIDs that we just commonly use, but there's also the prescriptions ones like
Hmm.
the prednisone, which
Okay.
doesn't just cause that side effects, but also lead to lower immune system because it
Oh
can suppress.
wow.
Yes, so you have to suppress the immune system so the inflammation is suppressed also. That's how the pain is gone by
Okay.
suppressing
Okay.
the reaction of the immune system to the inflammation.
Oh, so it's about always pain is always about inflammation.
It's about inflammation,
All
if
right.
not anatomical. And
All right.
so I just want to share that I was a long-term user of painkillers that I
Okay.
went to from the simple ibuprofen up to that prednisone steroids I was talking about.
Wow. So you're
Yeah.
expert in painkillers, both as a pharmacist and a personal use patient. All right.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah. Sorry,
after
Sam.
taking PPARS capsule for the psoriatic arthritis, yun, it started to lessen. I tapered the dosage, and I also want to share one of my testimonies for my personal client. She's actually taking PPARS powder for her
Oh,
breast cancer. And
okay.
then after 3 days, I called her to follow up lang, and
Mm.
she said that um actually there was because the PPARS is acting on the tumor. But she also commented that there's also a pain on the back area that is gone. She didn't know she was enduring it for long term, but after taking PPARS powder, the pain was gone. There was a relief. So there's
Wow.
another inflammation there that the PPARS resolved aside
Yeah.
from the cancer.
So it's wonderful, right? The PPARS is not just a drug like when you're taking medication for one use only for your cancer. And then you worry when you take a drug, you also have side effects. But the PPAR protocol actually works to strengthen your body on so many levels. We won't go into detail unless someone asks a question. So you have so many side benefits. So the wonderful thing is PPAR protocols doesn't have side effects, it has side benefits. And yeah, right. So that's yeah, I think we answered that question very extensively. Yeah, Sheila?
Yeah, just to very quickly echo out, pain can be caused by inflammation. Simply Nature PPARS is a very good anti-inflammatory that you may want to consider for that. All right. Now, for our next question, I'm sure you can remember her yesterday, sir, because I think
Yeah, Veronica.
yeah, she was asking this. I think she is asking this question for the benefit of the viewers tonight. Okay, so let me read this one. Her
Okay.
husband's condition is abdominal aortic aneurysm, enlargement of prostate, thyroid nodules, but all these are asymptomatic. What is the best PPARs for this?
Okay, I'm gonna share best with money not an issue at all. All right. Okay. So first thing I want to share with everybody is that the difference between like PPARs and drugs, one of the most important difference when you use a natural product like PPARs versus when you use a drug is this. When we do drugs, we start with the safest drugs we can use. Okay, so that means the stronger the antibiotic, the more your doctor wouldn't want to use it. Okay, the stronger the painkiller, the more your doctor wouldn't want to use it. So if there are four grades of painkiller, the doctor will try to use the lowest grade that is effective for you. Why? Number one, they want to make sure that if you get into a more serious condition, your body won't be used to the effect of the drug, and then it won't work anymore. Number two, the stronger the drug, the stronger the side effects. So you don't want to use a drug with very strong side effects if it's not necessary. So you don't use the strongest drug straight away. Okay. Now, when it comes to natural, it's very, very different. Products like Simply Nature People has no side effect and no long-term side effect. So you can actually start with the strongest, and there's no medical fear. No, it's actually positive, right? It's actually positive. The only thing about starting with the strongest that is a limitation when it comes to, let's say, Simply Nature People protocol is the cost, your financial strength, right? So so my advice right now is we'll start with, if finances is not an issue at all, that means money is not a problem. You want to start with the very best, that will be liquid, and then combine it with PPAR tablets. And then why liquid? Because liquid is the strongest, which means that it will allow your body to ramp up, develop momentum as fast as possible. Okay. After the liquid, then you can move down to the powder, but always with the tablets. Now, specifically for Veronica, I did share with her, because her husband's condition is not immediately life-threatening. It's not immediately life-threatening. Starting with powder extract is a very good strategy. It's an acceptable one because it's very effective. It's very cost effective. It will last, one jar will last for a month, and then you pair it with the tablet. However, if your husband or yourself is just very concerned, because I think one of the issue is, um, possible stroke or heart attack because of the build-up, right? If this is something very concerned and you want to get well as soon as possible, then start with the liquid for the first 10 days so you get good momentum, and then you go immediately to the jar, all right? And with the jar, what happens is that then you already have the momentum, and then you can continue the momentum, and then it's more cost effective. Let me share with you, because we had a patient who had to go for what's that called? Angioplasty. Okay, that means her arteries were clogged up so much they need to put a balloon in to stretch it out and then keep it open, right? So this is a tita that I knew personally. Now, she doesn't want to go for the angioplasty because her surgeon, her cardiologist actually told her, how I wish I don't need to do anything with you, because apparently three or two of her brothers have already put like 2 or 3 stents each. So the doctor has already put 6 to 9 stents in her family. So the doctor said, I really don't want to do your family's business anymore. I wish that we can find a non-surgical procedure for you. So she met me. I told her, why don't you try with our 1 box of liquid extract, and after that soft gel capsules for her, right? Guess what? She delayed her angioplasty procedure by a month. Okay, so she asked her cardiologist. They were actually scheduled to go for it. She asked her cardiologist, "Is my condition safe enough that I want to try something natural?" And then in a month, if nothing improves, then we go with the angioplasty. So the cardiologist was comfortable with it, so she proceeded. Then 1 month later, she went into the operating theater already. She already in anesthesia. So before they do the angioplasty procedure, they will do an angiogram, check one more time. And then when she woke up from her anesthesia, her doctor was apologizing to her. She said, I apologize for putting you into the operating theater, but the good news is that when we did your angiogram, your arteries are already clear. So we didn't proceed with the angioplasty. Okay, so I just want to share with you, in this condition, the liquid actually very quickly helped her to actually clear her blocked arteries, okay, her blocked blood vessels. So if that is something of a concern and your finances are okay, then liquid first, 1 box for 10 days, then go on to the powder extract. While you're taking the liquid or the powder extract, you always take 10 micro tablets of the PPAR tablets 3 times a day. Okay, now you're not going to, and wonderful, your husband has so many issues, right? So the good news is that all the issues will be addressed at the same time. So it's not like you have to do one after the other, and then, however, which one will the body prioritize to resolve and heal first? This one, there's no control. Okay, that means the body will decide which one is priority number one, right? But it doesn't mean that the other diseases are not being fixed. It's just that there will be one that is focused on, but you see improvement across the board. Okay, so I hope that helps to clarify. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Shyan. Would you like to add anything, Ms. Jhen?
Maybe I'll just answer her follow-up question, which is, how about a healthy person? What PPARS can they take?
Yeah.
And so for those healthy persons, you can take PPARS plus tablets for general health maintenance. And it's also good up to if you're stressed for some time,
Yeah.
or or athletic, you need more nutritional support, and even up to mild diseases, up to mild diabetes or hypertension and high cholesterol, you can take PPARS plus tablets.
Correct. You can take PPAR Plus tablets, and there's a wonderful side effect for PPAR Plus tablets, which is anti-aging. Okay, so I've been taking PPAR Plus tablets and PPAR tablets. I alternate between the two. Okay, since I was 27 years old, I'm 51 this year, so that will make it 14 years. I've been taking it. 24 years. Sorry, I've been taking it 24 years without stopping. Sorry, there was a year and a half where I did not take the product. All right. But that means in the 21 years, what did I say? 24 years, sorry. In that 24 years, there was only 1 year that I didn't take it. So I've been taking the product For me, it's just general health, keeps me energetic, and the one effect that I like a lot is anti-aging. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Ms. Jhen. I just want to greet our new viewers that are coming in. And a lot of questions are also coming in right now. Okay, Miss Roslinda Ofalia, good evening po. Miss Minda Banella, we also have here Noemi Alona Veres from Bicol. Maraming salamat for joining us tonight. If you have questions, please do comment down even in Tagalog. Don't worry. Okay? All right. So for our next question coming from Miss Minda Banella, how about for PCOS? What is the best PPARS for?
Okay, for PCOS, I actually have direct recommendation from one of the top endocrinologists in the Philippines. All right. So this was done during there was a question there was this particular question. What do we do? What product for PCOS? Right. During Prima. Prima is actually a integrative doctor. That means everybody's MD association, like an association, and then they invited me to do a talk. Okay, then before I could even answer, the endocrinologist actually stood up and answered on my behalf. So one of the audience in the crowd actually answered on my behalf. He straight away said, "Soft gel capsule, it works for all my patients. They do very well with the PCOS." Okay, so there you go. Okay, so soft gel capsule, I would say 2 capsules, one in the morning, one in the evening. And please take it with the PPARS micro tablets as well. So that will be 10 micro tablets twice a day. Okay, now again, I want to stress that I know you're taking it for PCOS, but you're going to see improvements in things like your blood cholesterol, your blood sugar, and if, your chronic inflammation as well. If you have any inflammation, so if you happen to have like joint pains, things like that, it's all going to be addressed at the same time. And of course, energy levels will go up, all right, because it affects metabolic pathways. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Soft gel capsule, but those ideally soft gel capsules with the tablets. Okay, yeah.
Miss Jen, would you like to add anything or shall we proceed?
I just want to strengthen that with a personal client testimony.
Oh,
I'm
wonderful.
really happy to share all these testimonies that I've been getting. It's
Yeah.
actually a referral from Sir Shan. She also has
Oh,
PCOS.
Oh, I know
Yes.
who. I know who. Yeah.
I know
Okay.
her.
And within 1 month of taking the PPARS, she has PCOS on both ovaries. That's just sad. But within 1 month of taking PPARS, the left one is already gone. And then the right side is lower now. So you just continue the protocol. Yeah. And aside from that, all the other what they call comorbidities that comes with PCOS, like the high cholesterol, the insulin resistance. She was also pre-diabetic then.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that. I didn't know that. Okay.
because I look at her laboratories and then we compared it. So it's really backed by science. It's proven clinically, and even she even lost weight. So you can see there's
Yeah,
physical
actually,
manifestation,
yeah,
not
actually,
just in the
this is my
laboratory.
friend. She bought the product not for the PCOS. She bought the product to lose weight. She never shared with me that she actually has PCOS. All right. Yeah, but it turned out that yeah, that she has and it went away. So wonderful.
I'm
Oh, I
just
just
really
want to
happy for
say,
her.
Ms. Janet, thank you. Ms. Janet is actually the director for Child House. We work with her for Cancer Kids Halfway Home. So again, since this is Holy Week, where we often are very grateful, thinking of what the Lord has done for us, it's also a good time to also think about those who are in need. So any of you who actually are looking for a place where you can make a difference, especially to kids, kids uh, kids are innocent in the sense that really the disease that they got it's not because they had a lousy lifestyle, they made wrong health choices, right? It's really because yeah, they were born with it. And so if you want to help kids who have cancer, help them and their family, and this child house is actually targeted for the lower income group. So most of the, actually all, not say most, all of the child house patients are actually sponsored by government agencies like PARKCOR. And then what they're doing is that their chemotherapy sessions are actually free at PGH. but because they come from very poor families and they come from the province, when they come here, it's so sad. The kids are in the hospital going for treatment. The parents are sleeping on the roads because they don't have anywhere to stay. Okay, so what Child House does is that Child House has been around for more than 20 years. They actually provide a place for the cancer kid and their parents to stay together throughout the 1 or 2 weeks when they're in Metro Manila, like in PGH, to go for their treatments. So it's really a worthy cause. So any one of you, just give us a shout out. You can type it here, and our CSOs, Sheila or Jen, will link you up with Child House, and you can see what you can do. So Janet, thank you also for. Janet is saying that she takes her PPARS for maintenance and she looks very young. Okay, so that's another great thing. Okay, the anti-aging part is a wonderful additional benefit of our protocol. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Shout out to all the kids there in Child House Manila. All right, now for our next question coming from Miss Jennifer Caceres, how about for rectal cancer stage 2B? What do you recommend?
Okay, number one, for good news, it's wonderful that you actually managed to catch your cancer in early stage 2. So what I would definitely recommend is go for the liquid PPARS. That's what Dr. Jansen would say also. Why? Because if you manage to catch cancer early stage, it's like winning the lottery, right? So the number one thing you do not want to do is allow the cancer to progress from beyond stage 2. Okay, cancer survival or cancer success drops dramatically once you cross stage 2. Okay, while in stage 1 it's localized, stage 2 spread a little, but it's still localized. But once you go into stage 3, it spreads to the surrounding areas and the rest of the body in stage 4, right? So cancer is actually very manageable as long as it has not spread. Okay, so because of that, time is your biggest enemy. You want to start treatment as quickly as possible, and you want to start treatment as strong as possible, because you've managed to catch it early. Okay, now I forgot. Oh yeah, rectal cancer. Okay, so liquid extract, and then after that, pair it with tablets, 10 micro tablets at least 3 times a day. You can actually do 20 micro tablets, for example, if your appetite is not good, in case you're on medication already and it's affecting your appetite. The PPAR tablets can be like a meal replacement, all right? Because it is actually just food, all right? And go for the liquid extract. Yeah, start with that. And then after your first box, what I'll say is that first month on liquid extract, and then after that go for scan and checkup. Okay, why do we do diagnostics? Why do you go for a scan? Why do you go for ultrasound or what's that, CT scan? Is before you change dosage, before you change what you're doing, you want to take look, you want to get a clear picture before you make changes. So we go for diagnostics so that we can decide what's the best thing to do next. Are you going to make any changes? Do you take more? Can you take less? Do you need to use a different type of approach? So that's what diagnostics are for. If you're not going to make any changes, you basically don't have to go for diagnostics, because the information will not help you. You're not going to do anything different. Okay, so that's what diagnostics are for. So again, recommendation is to do liquid PPARS for 1 month. All right, and then on tablets, and then after that, go and review your case and then see what's the improvement. And if based on the diagnostics, you'll know what to do next, whether to continue the same dosages, or maybe you're doing so well, you want to increase it. That's a possibility. The other possibility is that you're doing very well and finances is a bit tight, so you want to go down to something less expensive, but keeps the momentum going and keep the fight going in the right direction. Then you can go down to PPAR extract powder. Okay, so all our CSOs are trained and they're very compassionate. And like for Sheila herself, Sheila actually has her son is a cancer survivor, so she understands. And his is like 40 over 39 sessions, something like that, right, of chemotherapy and radiation therapy. And it was a very long battle for Dominic, and it was also very draining financially. So all our CSOs understand cancer is not just a medical problem, it is also a financial problem. So part of our journeying with you, all right, is that, yeah, discuss with us what is your financials like, so we can adjust the best protocol to fit your finances. All right, to fit your finances. And yeah, there you go. So yeah.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Miss Jam, would you like to add anything?
Yes, to complete your protocol, I also recommend cleansing plus because for rectal
Yes,
cancer,
like I
there
think
must
that.
be a tumor blocking and it must be painful or you already have an irregular shaped stool. Cleansing plus will really help you push it out smoothly. Yeah.
Okay, I saw someone actually type in Miss Rosalina Hello, right? She
Yeah.
says, "Man, I am taking PPARS, but right now I stopped because I can't afford. Is there any substitute?" Okay, this is exactly what we're sharing about. So instead of discussing here, I will leave it to Sheila and Jhen to talk to you. You know, Sheila and Jhen, we also have other programs in terms of like so find out more, right? Like how she's doing, and if it's possible to for a testimony or whatever, and see what we can do to help. Okay, so I want to share with everybody, it is so important to get medical insurance. Okay, I know this is a Q&A for health. Why am I talking about medical insurance? Because since we deal with so many cancer patients, we just want to be very truthful. I remember attending a talk by one of the top oncologists in Singapore, and he said something that is non-medical based. He said this, ah, for cancer, if you have more money, you have more options. Okay, so fighting cancer is really one of the most expensive diseases to fight because the drugs are expensive. The scans are not cheap if you have to do a lot of them. And if you're already financially very tight, even a CT scan can be very stressful, not because of the scan, but because of how much it costs, right? So I totally understand where you're coming from. Okay, is there a substitute for PPARS? I would say that for the actual fight against the cancer, to reverse the cancer, to successfully beat the cancer, at the bare minimum, it's really, honestly, it's really from our perspective, it's really the powder and the extract liquid. Okay, so next, if you really can't afford the powder, then go for the soft gel capsules. But you really need, if you're not taking extract powder and liquid, then you really need to be very disciplined. Okay, you must not eat nonsense. Okay, take good care of your health. You gotta remove yourself from stress to give yourself a chance. So I'll just give you one example that I personally know. There was a school teacher who obviously had financial difficulties, cannot really afford the powder or the liquid extract. So she went on soft gel capsules, okay? The amount of soft gel capsules that she took, the cost actually came up to almost the same as the powder, just slightly less. But the difference is that the soft gel capsules, Meron thingy. So she don't need to raise so much money at one shot. She was able to buy it weekly, right? And she was able to actually manage this. So sometimes when you say a patient cannot afford it, it could also be you can't afford to buy straight up the soft gel, the pipa powder jar or the liquid. However, then you can buy the soft gel capsules but eat more of it, right? Literally like 4, 5, 6 soft gel capsules a day, or at least 4 soft gel capsules a day, right? And you have to, and like I said, she lived in a province, so she ate fresh vegetables, okay, not processed food. She breathed good air, not Metro Manila air. And then I think she took leave from her work. Okay, so the wonderful news is that uh she breast cancer for this one, her breast cancer tumors all started to shrink. So it was being successful. Unfortunately, for this particular case, I mean, since I shared the testimony, I should share the whole story, right? Unfortunately, she caught a cold, all right? And I think she caught a cold. At the same time, she started on chemotherapy session, and then she caught a cold at the same time. and she developed pneumonia. Then she actually died from pneumonia. She didn't die from cancer. She actually died from pneumonia. All right. So it's so important that when you do cancer, when you're going for chemotherapy, you need to really make sure that you're supported nutritionally and supplement things that can strengthen your body. All right. Because when you go for chemotherapy, you get weakened, and then something else comes along, not the cancer, and then there's complication. We also have patients who die of sepsis, right? Because, for example, they were warded into ICU, and then the tubing for their food got contaminated, and then they developed sepsis, and then they actually didn't die from the illness that they went into the ICU for. So there are all these things, but in short, you really have to make sure that you strengthen your body's health. And honestly, nothing is better than PPARS protocol and tablets, even the tablets, all right, for overall health. That means really protecting you overall from metabolic syndromes to your boosting your immune system, specifically your dendritic cells, macrophage cells, all that. Yeah, nothing is better than PPAR tablets for complete. Okay, there are definitely specific vitamins like vitamin E that you take in high dosage for a specific purpose. But there's nothing, honestly, in my experience, there's nothing much better overall than the PPAR protocols. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Sean. I just want to say Sir Sean is correct. We really appreciate our clients and patients who really express their budget concerns to us, because that way we can help you better in terms of the different PPAR protocols that we have here. So I hope you understand. That's why we also probe or ask a lot of questions to you.
Yeah, so if we are being nosy or what's that called? It's not because we are makulit, or it's not, what's that? Merit test, is that what the things?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's the Filipino term. No, it's not that. We are asking because we are trying to do our best. And our company, we really believe we are here with you from start to healing. So it's not about selling a protocol. It's really making sure that we understand where you're coming from and that we're with you throughout the journey. Because as a health journey, every patient is different. For some patients, they take the liquid extract and everything very quickly, everything becomes well. For others, it takes a longer time. So we want to just be there for you so that you have someone you can ask questions. So again, not many companies do things like this where we have a live program. We really answer your questions so that after you start with us, you don't feel like there's no one to turn to, diba? Yeah, even, and I think this happens a lot for provincial patients. For example, their onco is in Metro Manila, and then when they go back to the province, they're not gonna, for small questions, come all the way to Metro Manila. And honestly, when they are also very shy to call the doctor just to ask some small questions, right? So in a way, sometimes they feel like they don't have anywhere to turn to. But if you are going to be on our Simply Nature PPAR protocol, you have our CSOs like Jhen, certified pharmacist, Sheila, whose own son went through the cancer journey, right? Who can understand where you're coming from and be there walking with you through this journey. I think this is very appropriate for Holy Week. Because when we talk about Holy Week, I can't help but think of the Holy Spirit, right? That when Christ ascended back up to heaven, he sent the Holy Spirit to be with us. So I think it shows how important it is as a patient, that when you're going through a difficult journey, that you have people to turn to, that you don't just sit there with questions in your head and walang no answers, right? Yeah.
That's right. Well, I just before we proceed to the next question, just want to say hello to Miss Flory Pisalbo and our dear Miss Mavs Agol. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, for our next question, this question is thrown to us privately by one of our viewers. Question is, can PPARS be taken alongside chemotherapy, or is there a specific instruction for this?
Okay, this is a very good question, and here's the very let me give you the answer first. The answer is yes. Okay, it can be taken together with the chemotherapy drug. If you ask your oncologist, most likely the answer will be no. Okay. So why am I contradicting your oncologist? Okay, the reason is because your oncologist may not be familiar with Simply Nature PPAR protocol. So being a responsible doctor, they are very concerned with contraindications. Okay, they are very concerned that if you take PPARS, something that they don't know, will it affect their chemotherapy drug? Don't forget there are 1001 network marketing companies and direct selling companies selling all sorts of funny different products. Many of them are good products, but there are also many scam products. There are also many products that are harmful for a cancer patient to take. But uh, cancer patients may be attending a talk and then at a network marketing or direct marketing company, and then like I said, they're very good direct marketing and network marketing companies with very good products that actually do work and help cancer patients. But there are also many that don't. Now, your doctor will not know which one is yours, and I'm quite sure your doctor is not familiar with network marketing or direct marketing, um, or whatever supplements there are out on the market. So to be safe, he will say no. He's not saying no because he know cannot. He's saying no because he doesn't know. So the best and safest answer is no. All right. So that's why your oncologist will say something very different. Okay, for us, why is it safe for Simply Nature PPARS to be taken with chemotherapy drugs? We actually tested our products with chemotherapy drugs and published into a medical journal, which is why just this year alone, our B2B, our division that deals with doctors. Okay, so our products can now be found in a few hospital pharmacies. Okay, so there's a difference, right? So it won't be in a a hospital pharmacy if it's not okay. And next, we actually listed in MIMS Philippines. MIMS is the medical catalog for doctors to use. Okay, so in there it actually says that our liquid extract is used to support chemotherapy patients, all right, to reduce the toxicity of chemotherapy drugs. Okay, let's go to why is it safe? Because actually our product is not a drug, it's actually a food. It's food grade. Even the extract liquid is actually food grade. So what you're taking is vegetables. I don't think there are any doctors or oncologists who say you cannot take vegetables when you're on chemotherapy. In fact, they will encourage you to take more vegetables when you're on chemotherapy, right? The only time that they don't is for those with cancer that has got to do with their GI, and because vegetables are high in fiber, they don't want to clog up the GI. So that's the only case. But if not, vegetables are the things that doctors will ask you to eat. And if you go to a cancer center, the nutritionist there will also prescribe you or they design a diet for you that's very high in vegetables. Okay, so that's why it is safe. Okay, next is the mechanism. Simply Nature soft gel capsules, extract liquids are actually the best partner for chemotherapy. So it actually protects your bone marrow. This one very important. If you're on chemotherapy, your bone marrow is going to be very important because the number one thing you will monitor throughout your chemotherapy is your red blood cell count, your RBC count. The moment your red blood cell count drops, you cannot continue your chemotherapy protocol. So that's why your onco is actually very concerned about your RBC count. So we just did a talk to, I think, 60 oncologists in Palawan. These are most of them are pediatric oncologists. So we did a presentation to them and they were very excited and interested in our product, which is why we managed to get our products into some hospitals already. Okay, not all. I think they're listed in 3 major hospitals here in Metro Manila. The reason is because we focus on how the Simply Nature PPARS, soft gel capsules, extract powder, and liquid protects your bone marrow from cytotoxicity, which is damage from chemotherapy. That actually lowers your red blood cell count. So we actually help to maintain your red blood cell count during your chemotherapy. Now, when do you actually use it and take it? Okay, just to let your doctor be comfortable, because even if I say all this, unless you can always arrange, let Sheila or Jhen or any one of us know who your doctor is. We can send a medical representative to go down and explain to the doctor and make it available for his other patients as well. All right. If you don't want us to tell the doctor that it is you who sent us there, it's okay. But let us know so that we won't mention who how did we know your uncle. Okay, now so that we can explain, show him the research, show him the details of the product, show him our listing in MIMS, then he'll be more comfortable. Okay, now again, so as to make it totally comfortable for your doctor and also for yourself, on the same day that you are doing your chemotherapy for intravenous chemotherapy, you don't take PPARS that day. You take it the day before and the next day. All right, then you continue. But on the actual day itself, you don't take it, so you don't get confused. You don't your mind doesn't go and wander. Okay, why is it okay to take the next day already? Because most chemotherapy drugs have a half-life of like 12 hours, something like that, which means most of the effect of the chemotherapy will be over in 24 hours. Okay, so whatever your chemotherapy session needed to do, it will do most of it within 24 hours. That's why after that, it's totally okay to take the Simply Nature PPARS to help your body recover from the damage of the chemotherapy. And you take it the day before to strengthen your own bone marrow and other healthy cells to be as strong as possible, so that during the day that you take the chemotherapy, it can resist the damage as much as possible. So there'll be little damage. Okay. Now, those of you who take oral chemotherapy, which is like taken more regularly, what you just do is you don't take the PPARS at the same time. Okay, you take the PPARS maybe 2-3 hours before or 2-3 hours later, apart from your chemotherapy, oral chemotherapy. If your oral chemotherapy is actually only once a day, whether if you take it in the morning, then you take the Simply Nature PPARS at night now, so that there's a gap, right? So again, all this actually is fine to take it together, but again, just so that you will be comfortable, your doctor will be comfortable, just put the gap in it. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Sir Shyan. Ms. Jhen, would you like to add anything to the question?
Well, Sir Sean covered the answer very extensively and comprehensively. I can think that aside from chemotherapy drugs, PPARS is also proven no contraindications with other medications. It can also be taken with your maintenance medicines,
Yeah, it
like
can.
for hypertension, diabetes, and it's also a radiosensitizer. So when you're also taking the radiotherapy, the PPARS can make the cancer cells more sensitive to the effect of that radiotherapy.
So it actually improves your radiation therapy,
Yes.
and for certain chemotherapy drugs, it actually makes it even more effective.
Yeah, well, I just want to add that, they say that the first chemotherapy session always has the ultimate kick, to the patient. And a lot of patients out there tend to be scared in proceeding to the next session. But
Uh,
what I can say is that with my experience with my son, I was actually very surprised and amazed that in the next sessions, he was actually able to endure. And not only that, I was actually expecting vomiting from him, but I did not see that. So I hope that encourage you to proceed if it's really necessary for you to really go to the chemotherapy and also radiation.
okay, I want to ask Junie. Junie, can you allow me to share screen? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me show everybody this. All right. This is one of the slides that I would show for. As you can see, the title is cytotoxicity protection. This is actually what we show the doctors. Okay. Okay. So this is Doc Sheila. This who is this Sheila?
My lovely son, Dominic.
Okay, this is actually Dominic. This is, I want everybody to see, right, what we mean by supporting a patient through chemotherapy. This is Dominic before. Everybody before, BEFORE. Okay, before his very first chemotherapy. So it's his first day of chemotherapy. He took a Simply Nature liquid extract first time that morning. So again, we said not at the same time, but a few hours before, right? And this is Dominic before chemotherapy. This is Dominic, I think, 2 weeks after. So most people, patients who are going for chemotherapy are so worried that they will turn from here to become like this. But you see, with Simply Nature PPARS, Dominic actually put on weight and looked better after his chemotherapy. So obviously the chemotherapy had its positive effect on the cancer. However, with everybody's always worried that it will imagine you're like this. Actually, Sheila, your integrative doctor, Dr. Maddie, actually was worried for Dominic, right? Because he was like this. If he went to do chemotherapy like this, she was worried. What was she worried about?
Um, she was worried that he might not be able to endure the upcoming sessions.
So
That's what.
we all know, right? Going through chemotherapy can be very difficult. If you're already so weak like Dominic before chemotherapy, just imagine how difficult it is to go through the chemotherapy. So what Simply Nature, and this is liquid extract, right? So what liquid extract was able to do was able to help Dominic endure, and not only endure, recover from all the damage that we know even the healthy cells will go through when they go through chemotherapy. So this is it. So this is Dominic after 38 sessions. Okay, Dr. Jansen will explain to you why children go for 38 sessions, because children are also in their growth spurt, right? Growing season of their life. So what that means is that the cancer also grows very aggressively because your body is full of growth hormones produced because the kid is growing. So that is why they actually have to go through more sessions. So you can see Dominic did shave his head, but after 38 sessions, he still looks fine, right? And this is him after how many? This is after 4 years or 3 years, something.
That was actually 2020, sir, around 2020.
Yeah, so he has finished he's gone for he's
Yes,
finished his chemotherapy sessions already.
yes.
All right. So there his hair grew back. All right. So I just wanted to show this to everyone to show what we mean, all right, what we mean by support you through the chemotherapy. All right, so that your body is strong, the chemotherapy works, and then you can recover quickly.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Sean, for sharing. All right. I think we're almost at the end of the webinar, and it looks like we've covered all the questions for tonight. Okay. I'd
Wow, I
like
saw the viewership is very steady tonight,
yeah.
actually, fluctuation. So I guess tonight is has been very interesting. Okay, in that case, since I showed that slide, right, let me just finish and do a good job about it. Hold on. Oh no, did I close it? Okay. Hold on. Uh yeah. Let me just show it completely lang, okay, so that we do a good job about it since we're actually sharing screen today. Okay, I just want to show everybody again, this is a slide. Let me show you what, because I always say I show doctors. Let me show you what we show the doctors lang. Okay, so these are things that we show the doctors. Okay, so for example, this is the mechanism of how the PPAR liquid extract protects your healthy cells from the damage of chemotherapy. So this is the mechanism of action, okay? So you can see, honestly, when we present the doctors, it's a lot more complicated than on our show, okay? And this is, for example, the top row here is your normal bone marrow cells. Why is this bone marrow cells? This is where your blood is produced, okay? Then next, this is when, this is specific chemotherapy drug called cisplatin. It's used for more than 14 different types of cancer. So this one chemotherapy drugs is used in many cancer types. Okay, so this is what happened when you put the chemotherapy to your bone marrow cells. You can see the bone marrow cells get damaged. That's why your blood production of red blood cell count drops, because the bone marrow cells is being damaged by the chemotherapy. Now, the last row is when you are taking Simply Nature liquid extract together while you're doing your chemotherapy. You can see that the liquid extract serves to protect. So the bone marrow cell look normal, right? Look like the top row looks normal. Okay, instead of being damaged like the middle row. Okay, so yeah, with this I'll stop. Just to share that, we make things as simple as possible. So today is just a rare opportunity since everybody's here, to show you when we do actually talk to doctors, it's a lot more technical, and I hope it gives you confidence that when we talk to doctors, we are actually talking about mechanisms of action, the science behind it, and that this will give you confidence that we can support you, well through whatever illnesses you're fighting. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Actually, yeah, we are about to wrap up this evening, and I'd love to hear very quick parting words from the both of you. Oh, just before that, because I'm very happy that you've mentioned earlier that PPARS can be a meal replacement, and this week is a Holy Week, and a lot of people are practicing fasting.
Oh,
So PPARS would be a good option for you to take, so you can still maintain being energetic and not losing, your appetite. It can actually also induce palate reset so that your cravings would also be changed while you are on your fasting journey this whole week. Okay. Who would like to
Nothing
start?
worse. I'll start so that I can let both wonderful ladies end the show. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed today. I was surprised. I told Sheila today being Maudie Thursday, I said maybe we won't have a lot of audience and that we can do a very short program. It turned out we did a long one. Okay. And I saw from the audience count is very stable throughout the whole time. So, all right. So it looks like next year's Maudie Thursday, we cannot take a break. That we still have to do this. All right. So we're here to serve you guys. So we are of course happy when we manage to serve people. So thank you for joining us even on a Holy Week. And if you've enjoyed this session tonight, we were interactive. I want to tell you here's a very exciting thing that's going to come up right in on June 6th. Sorry, June 7th, June 6th. 7. On June 7, we will do this live. Okay, we'll do this live. And not only will we do it live, we'll do it live with a surgeon and integrative doctor, Dr. Jansen. That means usually, right? Usually we all have this issue. You ask your uncle or you ask the surgeon, he tell you one thing. Then you ask your doctor that does the natural healing and integrative, he'll tell you the other thing. And then the two opinions always are different, and you are very confused. Who should I believe? Should I believe my surgeon or should I believe my integrative doctor? Well, when you put everybody on one stage, you get the answer right straight away. Because if the surgeon says something, the integrative doctor say, "Oh, excuse me. This is don't forget about this." So what's gonna happen on June 6th is in SMX Aura, which is in BGC, Metro Manila. We are going to have Dr. Jimmy Katapia, one of the top surgeons from Medical City, and we'll have Dr. Jansen, who graduated from St. Luke's and works in so many clinics and works with extensively with cancer patients, supporting them. And the two of them actually work together. And normally, we would love to have Dr. Johan, and he's another medical doctor, but he actually only uses purely foods. So anytime we want to do drugs or anything, he will refer to Dr. Johnson or Dr. Jimmy. All right. Unfortunately, he's a 7-day Adventist, and our event is on Saturday. If not, you will have 4 people on stage. Okay. And I will also be there to answer. So what's great is that a lot of cancer testimonies, those who do well, will be there at the show live, so you can talk to them if you want to find out more about what other people are doing with cancer. And of course, we're going to answer questions live on stage and not like this. So you actually be able to put your hand up, speak into the microphone and ask, and then we will be able to answer. And not only one person answer, the 3 of us will be able to give you our views. So take that opportunity. We chose SMX Aura because in case for those who travel from the province, it's going to be early in the morning, like 9 a.m. Sometimes people ask, why so early lang? Then we have to leave our province at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. for the bus ride. The reason is because I know you have to travel, so we make it early in the sense that you can finish quite early. We'll finish before lunch, and then you can take the time out to enjoy SMX Aura. It's one of the best SMs. And then there's a market, which is a nice Ayala Mall. So if you're coming with family, you can actually have a lunch here in BGC at SM and enjoy the rest of the day before you go back to the province. So that's also why we chose to make it early and the location that we chose. Okay, so with that, I wish you all the best. It is a wonderful weekend because tomorrow is Good Friday and Sunday is Resurrection Sunday, which is so important to most of us or all of us here in Philippines, where we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord. Amen. All right. So all the best. I'll hand the time back to Sheila and Jhen.
Thank you, Sir Shyan. Ms. Jhen?
Yeah, thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us tonight, even though it's a holiday. And chemotherapy is a double-edged sword. So it has the power to destroy cancer cells, but it also has its toll on the body. That's why it's most effective when paired with strong support, like how can we help the body to endure and recover? That's where PPARs come in. So please don't hesitate and just feel free to open up anything or everything to your assigned client service officer, and stay tuned for more information about that SMX event, Sir Shanta. Our registration will open up soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Shyan Lim, and thank you, Ms. Jhen. On behalf of our viewers for tonight, thank you so much for answering our questions, and we look forward, of course, for the next week's webinars to come as you answer a lot more questions coming from our viewers. All right, now at this point, may I just say, if you are or your loved one is battling any type of cancer or any health issue at all, remember, science is evolving and new treatments are emerging all the time. Keep informed and explore all available options. So don't forget to like our Facebook page, Simply Nature International, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is also to make sure that you can get updated with our latest promos and events. Now, as Sir Sean mentioned earlier, and Ms. Jhen did, we are calling all our cancer patients, survivors, advocates. Let us all come together to explore the latest advancement in cancer treatment and engage in the multidisciplinary experts dedicated to enhancing your well-being. This is happening this coming June 7th, that's a Saturday, at SMX SM Aura at 8 a.m. Our panel of experts is composed of a PPARS expert, lifestyle medicine doctor, integrative doctor, and surgical oncologist. Wow. Now take advantage of this face-to-face AMA portion where you can ask our doctors live during this event. So please watch out for the upcoming announcement on our Facebook page on how you can buy your tickets to this exciting event. Now, I'd like to also say that you are in for a treat because we have an exciting lineup of promos exclusive for direct and website orders only. Because if you buy a box of PPARS liquid extract or a jar of PPARS powder extract, you'll get seven sachets of Cleansing Plus for free. Guys, that is worth more than 800 pesos. Okay. Another exciting promo is if you buy 3 individual packs of PPARS soft gel capsules, you can actually get an extra pack of PPARS soft gel capsules, which is worth 3,700. Right. So once again, it's worth 3,700 worth of free PPARS products just for you. So please, these are all amazing promos. Once again, it is up until April 30 only. Now, we also have, last but not least, I am sure you wouldn't want to miss, valid only throughout for the webinar orders. And it is actually the last day for you to avail this promo because you can enjoy free shipping nationwide when you shop more than around 3,700 and up of your favorite Simply Nature healthy options. Now, this amazing offer is valid, well, like I said, up until tonight only. So please hurry so you can avail this exciting free shipping promo from Simply Nature. Okay, so yeah, experience the benefits of PPARS at an unbeatable price. Now is always the best time to get the best health, not only for yourself, but for your whole family. So what are you waiting for? Visit our website. That's www.simplynature.asia. Now, we hope to see you once again in our future webinars to come, particularly next week's episode on April 24. It is entitled, Find Hope in the Middle of Your Cancer Treatment. Wow. Now, this is the same day, same time, every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Okay? Now, thank you so much for spending your time with us today, even on a holiday. Your commitment to healing inspires us. And remember that every step you take is a step forward, and you don't have to walk on this journey alone. Okay? Once again, this is Simply Healed webinar powered by SMG and SNI. Because here, your curiosity about your health conditions and your victories over cancer and metabolic illnesses are what keeps us going. Because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all.